And the fact that he was able to literally hang his hat on and say, "That's the one. I'm good with that one." Probably not the one he wanted, but it's the one that we came up with and that was successful.
The phenomenal one, AJ Styles, in the match people are talking about this year at WrestleMania.
I heard so many people say that. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no, I gotta be
expectations are too high. This is not gonna work.
Can we talk about that? You are the guy that's been tied to those expectations on these big matches your entire career. Is that
Getting old though? It's getting harder.
Does it honestly weigh on you sometimes when people?
Well, I mean, like I always look back at the Shinsuke Nakamura match, and the expectations were through the roof. And not that we had a bad match, but it was just hard to reach those expectations. And when you have a Japanese crowd, they make it a lot easier. But it's a little bit harder here in the States, and it worries me a little bit.
Does it worry you in a good way? Is it something that adds some more fire in your belly?
A little A, a little B. Yeah, there's real worry, and then there's like, oh, we're gonna make this great. So
you're in there with Edge, and this is a different Edge, another incarnation, and this is a match people wanted. I asked you that back at the Royal Rumble, and you told me that was something you really wanted, the fans wanted. Now you got it. Maybe you didn't get it the way you exactly wanted with some of the things he got to do to you along the way.
Sure.
But when you get out there and the bell rings, is it going to be? Do you think you're going to have that magic that you've had before with other people?
I 100% believe that we'll have that magic. He reminds me a lot of I can't tell you why John Cena and I have such great chemistry, but I feel like it's the same kind of with Edge. Like it just works. We're different in a lot of ways, but our thinking is similar.
Is there a sense of enlightenment that you have at this point in your career that maybe you couldn't have had before, in terms of having these big matches, being in the biggest stage you can be at WrestleMania, and you being virtually a franchise player for WWE at this point? Is there a sense of like, wow, I never thought I'd have this perspective on my career?
Oh, we're getting to that point where I feel great about retirement coming up, eventually, because I've had so many great matches with so many great guys. So it kind of puts your mind at ease that you were able to accomplish. So, I mean, I didn't know, 7 years ago, I didn't know I was ever going to have a WrestleMania moment. And now, I think this will be number 7, I think, but that's huge, for me. It's great. I mean, it's WrestleMania, it's bigger than anybody could ever think, because it's something that most of us always wanted to be a part of, who were part of this business, and it's huge, man.
I have to ask you about this. You got to have his final match. You got to have it at one of the more reasonably awkward WrestleManias for people during the pandemic, and I thought it was probably the best match that we got to see in those challenging circumstances. The Boneyard match, you and the Undertaker. Now he enters the Hall of Fame. Is that something that you're always going to think, wow, I got to have the last one with him?
I'm just glad that I got to have a match with the Undertaker. Not exactly the way him and I both thought it was going to be, but it worked. And the fact that he was able to literally hang his hat on and say, "That's the one. I'm good with that one." Probably not the one he wanted, but it's the one that we came up with and that was successful. And we were both entertaining. Him more than I. He's the Undertaker. He's the reason. It's pretty awesome to think that you were his last match, but kind of sucks because it was his last match.
You looking forward to the speech?
I am, just because he's been doing this for so long, been in the WWE for so long, having so many matches. I'm looking forward to it.
AJ Styles, WrestleMania, streaming on Peacock, worldwide on the WWE Network. You can follow me at Kev Kellam. You can follow him on all the different social media platforms.
I got a couple.
He's got a couple. He's got a couple followers.
Just a couple.
Sportskeeda Wrestling.